Here we are, another wedding in Seattle. You may recognize my dad. He came and helped out on this one today. It's a huge help. We pulled off on the side of the path here in a local park so I could mic up the groom, and then we did our first looks. Now, pretty simple coverage for the first looks. I shot a master of it, and then I went in for a couple of close-ups, asked them to reenact a little bit. That was pretty much it. Some close-up shots of the flowers, and then we were ready to move on to the ceremony. At the venue, needed to mic up the officiant. Now, I like to hide my mics. I just don't like the way they look on camera. So it's last-ditch effort if I'm going to clip it on the outside. Takes a little bit of back and forth to get it hidden how I like it, but to me, it's worth it. So we were running 3 cameras today. My dad was manning the 2 on sticks, and I had handheld. I typically don't mix camera bodies, but I have a couple different brands I was shooting today. This is a lower-cost wedding, and I didn't really have the budget to rent extra bodies for this one. So I borrowed from a friend, and I borrowed from my brother-in-law. That was a huge help. Moving on, this is an event that I came and worked on in Bainbridge Island. It was a middle school event. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'm recording this voiceover, a few weeks afterwards. But it was my first time working with Brad Walker, and he is fantastic. He runs an audio event company called Flamingo Audio here out of Kitsap County, and he's been a friend of my dad's for a long time, so that's kind of how I got hooked up with him. Here I was setting up lighting in the girls' bathroom. We were just uplighting with some, I believe they're called babies. I'm still getting used to the different types of equipment, different types of mics, and different types of lights that we're using here at Flamingo. But I believe these are called babies. So we're uplighting and then taping off the cords so it's not a trip hazard. At the end of the day, this is what it looked like. We had put our truss up, all of our lighting, and then we had to kind of consolidate all of the equipment under the truss because the event wasn't going to start until the next evening. Now, I twisted my ankle a little while back, so needed to tape up this morning. Headed out on a hike, a short camping trip with a buddy named Bo. Shooting a passion project with Bo at the moment, a documentary about his family. Originally, this trip was going to be an opportunity to shoot a scene where, he's searching for bonsai trees. Very meaningful, kind of connects to the story about going through difficulty and adversity, coming out on the other side, a more beautiful and prosperous life. But as it sometimes goes, didn't end up recording almost anything on this weekend trip. Instead, I just enjoyed the time with Bo, got to know him a little bit better, and had a beautiful time in the outdoors. Now, you may notice that is Lake Cushman. We were in Lake Crescent for the vlog last week, but Cushman is where I went and dived prepping for my Alaska trip in February. I'm not sure. I might add some Alaska footage in an upcoming vlog. I know it was a while back, but it was a really fun trip, so I might throw some footage in anyhow.
Obviously, I'm not taking that big of a root ball.
Yeah. This is a hike headed up towards Mount Elinor. It's not a short hike, but it is a beautiful hike. We didn't make it all the way to the peak because this time of year, you need crampons and something to self-arrest if you were coming down. So we just went far enough to catch a view and find some of the trees that Bo was looking for. Typically, I'm not a big campsite person, but we stayed at the campsites near Lake Cushman, right at the bottom. I think they're called Big Creek, something like that. Absolutely wonderful, super quiet, not a lot of people, which are usually the things that bug me about campsites is when it's loud and there's a lot of people. So it was wonderful, peaceful, and just a fun time getting to know a new friend. When I got back in town, we had a barbecue with friends and family.
Okay. You're just holding it and then like I
I got my car. I'm gonna go both sides. Okay.
Oh, she's bringing two now.
Whoa, you? Oh my goodness.
Are you gonna squeeze him?
Squeeze.
Oh!
Woo! Ready? Squeeze it quick, quick.
Aye. Nice.
Phil and I ran around a little bit with his DJI drone, just using it like a gimbal. We weren't, shooting anything specific, just having a good time. Man, it is fun to run around with, I have to say. I saw a friend, Josh. We were doing my sister's wedding together last year, and he ran around with his DJI drone during the reception. He let one of the kids run around with it, using it like a gimbal cam. It was such fun footage. It's kind of shaky and whatnot, but I just really enjoyed it, so. Another beautiful sunset in the Pacific Northwest. Another beautiful day in paradise. Well, hopefully I'll see you guys around.